Sandy Shore here from smoothjazz.com Global, and I am so excited to be sitting in the East Wing. Actually, everything around here is the East Wing because I'm in Nathan East's home, and I'm honored to be here. Nathan, thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for coming over. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This isn't my first time here, but every time I come here, I feel so much energy. And I know in this room alone, there's been a lot of magic, right?
A lot of magic, yeah. And this is almost starting to feel like a little club in here.
I know.
Hammond organ in the background, piano. We got some amps and
upright,
and
so all kinds of treats over there.
Yeah,
with strings, and,
exactly.
And the horn bells and whatnot.
I mean, so it's fun because then we don't have to leave.
That's right. That's right. I asked you, I took advantage of our friendship because I really wanted to talk to you about this upcoming release with Eric Clapton.
Oh yeah. Lady in the Balcony.
Lady in the Balcony.
Yeah.
And it's special for so many reasons, for you and for everybody involved in the project, of course, Eric. And for me as a radio personality, DJ, and just in the business for many years.
Right.
It's such a incredible thing for us to have another unplugged session. And that album was pivotal back then. And that's so I just wanted to tell you that from a standpoint of being in radio, how much it changed our lives.
Wow. Well, I think we're talking maybe 30 years ago, 1992, somewhere in there.
That's right.
And which goes by in a blink.
It
seems like, and because I still had the same shirt that I wore.
Yeah, let's talk about that. And we'll talk about the room that this was recorded in, why it was recorded, how it came about.
Well, first of all, the shirt was given to me by George Harrison. It's a Versace shirt, and it was a birthday gift. So I wore it in the first Unplugged. And when we went to do this second one, I thought, wow, why not go back to the the kind of the feel of the first one? And so I pulled out the shirt and, wore it underneath a sweater.
Well, and you're a bit of a historian. I mean, even on a personal level, but as somebody who travels the world a lot, makes music all over the world, it really sort of kicked in that natural instinct, didn't it? To keep things, save things, document.
Absolutely. I love documenting pretty much everything, because, and then, the time goes by so quickly that you don't realize that, oh, wait a second, I captured something that took place 3 decades ago,
But the fact that you kept the shirt is another part of that.
Absolutely. And it always kind of just brings George close, near and dear to my heart, which he remains to this day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, have you always been that way? Somebody who wants to document? Did you have an awareness that time passes quickly?
Pretty much.
Wow.
Pretty much, yeah. It just, I try to date everything and make a stamp, because it's like once you put that date on there, and then it's just always like fading away into the distance.
That's right, almost immediately.
Immediately.
Yeah.
And so I, recently I broke up my kind of logbook date books from when I started doing sessions in 1980.
Okay.
And so like I looked, and then I see all these, sessions with, Quincy Jones, Whitney Houston, it was just funny to go back and look at those.
Yeah, and now do you use electronic note forms now, or are you still analog?
Both.
Okay.
Both now, yeah.
Okay.
I still keep an analog. So I've had 40 years of analog, day at a glance, month at a glance.
Yeah. No, we're talking about paper and pen. So
Right.
when we say analog, that's just
exactly. It's like write it in there.
And you've got probably airline tickets and concert stubs and your passes, right?
I got passes, my passports, from years of thick ones, and it's fun to just go back. The other day I found my Barry White passes, backstage passes, and I thought this is one of the first gigs I ever did.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So your Throwback Thursdays are content rich, as we say.
Right, exactly.
So this incredible project, out as we're speaking, it's out now.
Right.
And it's really something special. It was inspired a bit by COVID. An artist like Eric Clapton was, when you lock down an artist like Eric,
right,
it really locks you down. The thing he loves to do the most, one of the things he loves to do the most, is perform.
And again, in his living room, I guess for the first few months you can sit there and play on your own, but by the time maybe November came, I got a call saying, would you be willing to get on a plane and come to England?
Yeah.
And by that time I was saying, absolutely, whatever we have to do to get back in the same room together.
Right. And the room, and this is really what inspired me to want to talk to you, so everyone could hear it. The room was just phenomenal. I mean, it's talk about history.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful sound. And I think Henry VIII stayed at this place, Cowdray House.
In England.
Which is, out in West Sussex. Beautiful English countryside. And so, a lovely place to stay.
And the recording would have picked up on the historic vibes, of course,
right.
And by that I mean, recording studios go to great painstaking efforts to add tapestry and wood and absorbing foam, right?
Exactly.
And when you're in there, all of that natural surroundings, furniture included,
right,
was all part of your texture and sound.
Absolutely. Very high ceiling, and so it lent itself for an acoustic environment.
Acoustic masterpiece, maybe an acoustic
Exactly.
masterpiece.
Exactly.
And those who are beer enthusiasts know, like the Trappist or the Belgian beers, they're
right.
open fermenting, and everything in the room influences the taste of the beer.
Right.
So this is something like that in a way.
And the sounds almost went up to the heavens as you played, like the ceilings seemed like they were 50 feet high,
It's called The Lady in the Balcony.
Right.
Because there was really an audience of one.
Yes.
And who was that?
It was Malia Clapton, Eric's wife, and she, because again now we're in a bubble. We're England's on complete lockdown. I mean, you can't find a store open or anything, and so even the fact that like normally it'd be great to just have an audience like unplugged, just even people sitting on the couches, all your friends and everything, but we couldn't even have that. So finally they cleared for Malia to come, and she sat in the balcony.
That's amazing, and it's such a poetic title.
Right.
It really is.
Well, I love the title because it honors her.
Yes.
And trust me too, when there's no audience, you play one way, and then when there's an audience, even if it's one, it makes a huge difference.
It's a shared experience.
Right. And something happened when she came that all of a sudden inspired everybody to just take it to a level that now here's somebody that knows what's happening and is going to hear it.
Right,
and
exactly.
It was very special.
Back when the first Unplugged album came out, it was a pivot that no one had seen.
Right.
And if you think about the timing, right?
Yeah.
And you think about the artist that did it, coming from more of an electric background,
Exactly.
and a rock background, to just strip it down to the songs, to the music, to rearrange, and of course now, we were flooded with it after that. Everyone was pulling the cords out.
Everybody did, and this one was an honest unplugged. I mean, Eric didn't want anything plugged in, so microphones were placed on all the instruments, and it was honestly unplugged.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Did you use the same basses on that? On this one as the old one?
Well, this one I used an upright bass similar to the one behind us on both versions, different instruments, but pretty much acoustic.
And on drums?
And this time on drums, Steve Gadd.
Okay, nice.
And Chris Stainton on keyboards. So basically, it's sort of, if you can imagine, Eric's playing in his living room for almost a year on his own, and pretty soon it's like, well, it'd be nice to have my pals around me. So he called me Steve Gadd and Chris Stainton, and now it's like him playing in his living room, but then you can hear, what you want to hear off to the side. You had little keys, little bass, little drums, little rhythm, and for all of us, it was like, we were thirsty to play together.
Yeah, absolutely.
We hadn't played together. So to be in the same room, it was like we were kids in a candy store.
It just looks magical. The connection, you can see it.
Right.
And you can we can almost feel it watching.
Yeah. And again, we were each other's audience because we would we would have a chance to now be playing to each other and just vibing off each other. It was great.
Is there a non-musical way to explain what it feels like to somebody who doesn't play in a band or play or doesn't play? What is that? What is that on a human level? What's that warmth and communication like?
Well, it's a dialogue. It's a conversation. But musically, it's like you complete each other's sentences, you know.
Okay.
And then there's familiar territory, you know, because we're playing songs that we've played together before.
Okay.
And it feels like we're kind of having a little class reunion.
Right.
So it's like if you just put your friends and we all sat around like this and just had a conversation, but it's with our musical instruments.
And the arrangements of Layla, for example, similar to the unplugged version.
Right, exactly.
And that's because...
Well, first of all, it just lends itself to, I mean, that's the definitive unplugged version.
Yeah.
So...
Might be the definitive version at this point.
Exactly. So I don't know that we would go to another new unplugged version, you know.
I got you.
It's like that one is, you know, has made its way...
Locked and loaded.
Yeah, made its way through hearts and souls.
You know? Yeah. Well, the set is beautiful, and the inspiration for it, everyone was inspired to do something in COVID. You know,
right.
We were all affected. We were all changed.
Absolutely.
You know? And I know for most people, for the better and not for the better, but we processed it.
Yeah.
And this was Eric's way of processing that and giving us all a gift at the same time.
Absolutely. You know, I love Eric's music is kind of like the soundtrack for his life, you know. Mm-hmm. And then so I love the way he writes, and it's a reflection of what's going on around him. So these were called the lockdown sessions, you know, because we couldn't really, and something again great came from us having to be, you know, locked down, and then finally him saying, I'll tell you what, let's create a bubble and let's play.
You had to do that too, because you literally were in the throes of it.
Right.
This was when you recorded.
Yes.
Late spring or spring.
Yeah, spring, March of 2021.
21 this year.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Yeah.
So,
things hadn't really loosened up yet.
No, they were tight, and you know, again, in England, everything was closed.
That's right. That's right. And they even came looking for you.
They even came looking for me. The COVID police. But I didn't answer their call on my phone. It was a blocked number, and a couple of calls came through, and I didn't answer until they showed up at the front door.
Isn't that funny?
It's amazing.
Wow, yeah. Well,
somewhere there's a photo of it.
And we're turning the corner now, slowly but surely, on the planet. I think
so.
Yeah, on the planet. And what a special opportunity, though, for all of us, and to talk to you about how this came about and the evolution of it. Anything on the project that surprised you as Eric's longtime, you know, right-hand man?
Well, it surprised me how intimately connected that we all are.
Okay.
Yeah, and I thought, you know, this is on many levels just something that is a response to what the world is going through at the same time that we've all never been through ever.
Right.
And this was like, I mean, nobody knew this would hit us like this.
No.
And
amazingly shared experience.
Yeah.
From every corner.
And to try to bring something that would grow out of it, I think everybody tried to do that, you know, and a lot of people were able to make something out of this experience.
Yeah. This is another special one. This one, you know, the lady in the balcony.
Exactly.
Something that'll be documented.
Right.
No doubt.
Exactly.
And I'm just happy to be able to chat with you about it. I think it's a big deal. I think it's another pivot that the music industry will embrace, and I'm excited for us fans.
I'm excited as well.
And for us radio folks who will be featuring it. Yeah.
Well, there's some good music on there.
Good music on, and it's a video.
It's a video. So. And so I look forward to everybody's reaction.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for opening up the East Wing.
Anytime.
Okay.
Mi casa, su casa.
Oh, much appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely.
Please check out The Lady in the Balcony, Eric Clapton's brand new unplugged lockdown sessions.
Yeah.
Featuring my friend Nathan East on bass. And thanks so much for tuning in. Always a pleasure to see you too.